Yeah! Hi, seekers of truth. This is The Weird Christian, and today I'm going to be talking about the word infallibility, and it's used for trying to understand what Scripture is about. Okay, so I'm taking this course, as I mentioned before, and we're going to, let's see here, it's in a church, and it's basically a mainstream evangelical church. So I'm going to be talking to a lot of people, and we get a chance to actually discuss things. And these people are intelligent and Christians, so everything's good that way. But I'm going to be addressing some Gnostic thinking, I would say, in the church. And let's just start with this little one, this idea of infallibility. Now, you may not know what Gnosticism is when you conflate your way, you mix terms. It's basically doing dialectics. You can read Hegel. He was an expert in dialectics, or he was the guy who presented it. And communists use a lot of dialectic. Basically, they would, conflate words together. Love is war, or love is peace, and war is peace, and love is hate, and so forth, that kind of stuff. So, and you can read about that in Orwell's 1984 book. So, here I'm going to talk about in our church, in the church, Christian church, that we're doing the same thing. We're using dialectic, which is a Gnostic thinking. It's Gnostic. It's a very muddy thinking. Gnostics muddy up definitions of word. They like to make things, they like to use rhetoric to present a point, but they just want to make, they have their goals, but using their rhetoric, they'll turn good to evil and evil to good. The point is winning the argument, basically, and to be able to have control over other people. Now, I'll just leave it at that. That's really Gnosticism in a nutshell, and it's used all over the place. It's prevalent, especially in politics, but in the church too. We don't recognize its usage, and a prime example of this is the word infallible. When we describe the Bible as infallible, this is what this book says. Why we believe the Bible is inspirational, and I have no problem with that, and reliable, I have no problem with that, and authoritative, I have no problem with that. But when you use the word infallible, there's a problem with that. Okay. So here's the definition of infallible: incapable of erring, an infallible guide, an infallible source of information. Okay. Incapable of failing, certain, an infallible antidote, and an infallible rule. And here is a perfect example of using the word infallible for your abilities to dictate over other people. In the Roman Catholic Church, they figure that the Pope is incapable of error, and the Church is actually incapable of error in expounding doctrine on faith or morals. The point of using the word infallible is to win arguments, and to say that if you're against my argument, then you're against the Bible or you're against the church. So when you actually give criticisms to it, to an idea, you can say that the person who is criticizing is against the Bible or against the church. Okay, that's the purpose of the word. It's kind of like the use of the term conspiracy. You're a conspiracy theorist. It was developed in order to shut down dialogue and discussion. That was the purpose of the word used in history. Okay, now I'm going to talk a bit more about that, because this is what's going on even today with the word infallible. Like, let's say a person, the problem with infallible is, okay, I'll just put it up this. It sets up a lot of assumptions which need exceptions, which deny the term's definition. Because in the term, it means incapable of error. But in order to make it work in life, you have to make a bunch of exceptions for it, which deny the term. Okay. This word is used by many who proof texts, like in the Bible, or whatever, claiming they are correct in their critical opposition is against, and in this case, the Bible, if you call the Bible infallible, or if you say the church is, if you criticize the church, you're basically you're against the church, okay, in the Roman Catholic Church. So that's the purpose of the term. To me, when you actually have to redefine the term in order to make it work, then you're actually creating a dialectic for the word, and you're destroying the meaning of the word. And if you have to destroy the meaning of the word in order to make it work, why use the word in the first place? To me, you're just destroying language, and you're just destroying. It's a method of Gnosticism, and it's a method of doing what happened at the Tower of Babel. Okay, where you destroy language, and basically everybody has their own language. They create their own terms for their own language, and pretty soon you have lots of fighting, and everybody, because of all the infighting, they leave, basically. So the word infallible is that kind of word. When you use it to describe the ability of the Bible, it's basically a heresy to use that. I would say that in that strong word, it's the use of a Gnostic heresy. And so that's what I'm saying. Okay, for an example of what you might come across when people think that the Bible is infallible. Okay, they will actually even think, well, even though, did I say that King James Version is not the original words of, in the Greek or the Hebrew, the translators, when they translated, were led by God. Therefore, what they translated was infallible. So they will come across terms like the four corners of the earth in a discussion about where maybe people are coming from or whatever in Bible. And so they will get the idea that the earth has four corners. And if you disagree with that, if you believe that the earth is spherical, they will say that you're against the Bible and you're a heretic. That is a perfect example, and I've had that happen to me. Maybe you've had that happen to you. I don't know. But that's a perfect example of using the term infallible for saying the Bible's infallible. Okay. Now, in the Hebrew, it says the four wings of the earth. Well, the earth doesn't have, does it have four wings on it? It's talking about directions. If you use the term, if you consider literally, which is another thing that is a way of destroying language and literature and talking about the Bible, you will maybe you imagine that there's four wings on the corners of the earth. You can go that way. So just imagine that, I could draw a little picture of a square with wings on each corner, and there we go. And if you disagree with me, you're against the Bible. This is the infantile argument that comes out of this. And it's basically a Gnostic argument. It's a Gnostic way of thinking. It's heresy. And it's sloppy language. So I just thought I'd share that with you. There's a lot of Gnosticism in the world today in the Christian church. I'm trying to address it. I'll be addressing this in that course, which is next Tuesday. I go there. So on Wednesday, I'll probably be talking about it. And so stay tuned. And I'm still, haven't arranged anything to have talking with a fellow of mine doing a kind of a podcast or anything like that. But we will. If you have any comments, put them in here. If you have a like on this, put it in here. But that's up to you. I'm not asking you. I'm not desperate for anything. I just go to God. If God is going to, have people listen to this, he will bring people to listen to this. If he doesn't, then that's fine too. That's the way I am. Anyway, God bless, and may you search for truth and consistency. I'm trying to be consistent here, so let's be consistent, because truth is consistent, omnipresent and eternal. God bless and have a great day. Bye.